Adobe has made the creation and modification of cascading style sheets central to almost everything you do in Dreamweaver. In an effort to make accessing and editing your CSS even easier, Adobe has introduced the Code Navigator in Dreamweaver CS4. The Code Navigator gives you an easy way to access and modify your styles from anywhere in your document. As your site gets more complicated, it's not unusual to have styles in various places throughout your site, all coming together at runtime to determine final rendering. Because of this, it can often be difficult to know exactly which rule to modify to achieve the desired results. With the addition of the Code Navigator, finding, identifying, and modifying these rules has become extremely easy. I have my index.html page open from the 0606 folder. And if I scroll down a little bit, I can see that our list here, it's the wrong font, it's the wrong color, and it is a little too large. So if I click inside of this, using the Properties Inspector, it seems to be targeting just the #main content li. But if you notice that whenever you click inside of something now, if you pause for a second or two, this little icon right there comes up. That is the Code Navigator icon. And if I click on that, that opens up the Code Navigator in a little pop-up window. What is this? The Code Navigator is showing us every single rule that's applying to this in the order that they're being applied. It's going to show us embedded styles first and external styles second. You may find that kind of annoying that that little icon comes up every single time you select something. If you don't want that to happen, you can click the Disable checkbox. I've actually done that because if I'm not working on my styles, I really don't need this icon coming up over and over and over again. I'm going to click off of this. If we disable the icon, how in the world do we get it to come up again? It's actually really simple, and we just use a keyboard shortcut to do that. On the PC, I'm going to hold my Alt key down. On the Mac, you're going to hold your Command and Option key down. So again, on the PC, it's Alt. On the Mac, it's Command and Option. And once you have that key held down, simply click on the element that you want the Code Navigator to appear for. So I'm going to click again, and you can see it's telling me what the shortcut key is right here if I happen to forget that. So the first thing I want to do is I want to identify where the font size is being set. So if I hover over main content li, I can see that I get a summary of what that rule is. And this is setting the color and the font size. I also want to know where the font itself is being set. So I'm going to go to my external style sheet. I'll go down here. I may actually have to go up a little bit until I find that. So we've got three things here: color, size, and font family. And there are two separate rules that are setting them. I want to go ahead and modify that. So I'm going to take care of color and size first. So I'm going to go up to the index.htm #main content li. This is an embedded style. If I simply click this rule, Dreamweaver automatically takes me right there in the code to where this rule is. This is a really good option for those of you that like to hand code. If you don't, you might just use the Code Navigator to identify where the style is and then modify it using the CSS Styles panel. I'm going to go ahead and change the color. So I'm going to change the color to #000. So that's black, and that's what it needs to be. I'm also going to change the font size from 1.4 ems to 1 em. I'll just go ahead and do a save, and then I'll go back into Design View. And if I scroll down, I can see that the list is now a lot smaller and the color that it needs to be. And it's still not the right font, so I'm going to hold the Alt key down again, click one more time. Again, that's Option Command on the Mac. And then I'll go down and find in my external style sheet a similar rule. There's the main content li, and if I go up just one, there's main content space ul, there's my font family. So I'll go ahead and click that. Here, it's a little harder to do this manually. You could go ahead and type this in, but code hinting in Dreamweaver is a wonderful thing. If I simply get rid of that, as soon as I hit the space bar, you'll notice that Dreamweaver says, oh, you want to choose a font family. So it gives me that predefined list of font families that we have in Dreamweaver. Later, I'll show you how to set these manually. I'm going to go ahead and type in G, which will jump me down to Georgia, Times New Roman, Times, and Serif. And I'll just hit enter, and I'll let Dreamweaver do all the hard work and type that out for me. So we'll do a save all, go back into Design View, and now the list looks exactly like we want it to. As you can see, when working with complex sites, using the Code Navigator can greatly speed up the process of identifying where a property is being set, and then make it really fast to access and modify that specific rule.